How to not get ripped off by a marketing agency. In today's video, you're gonna learn 13 practical steps on not getting ripped off by a marketing agency. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I've been in business for about 3 years now, and this is not a selfless promotion of my company on this video. This is genuinely some of the things that I've seen, and I've heard horror story after horror story after horror story of customers working with other agencies. The agency promises the world, the customer gets little peanuts. And with that being said, I wanted to share with you some of the things that I've seen and some of the recommendations that I made from my own mistakes working with clients. We've had clients leave us, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why inside of this video. So by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to research your next digital marketing agency to make sure that you're making the right solution every single time, so your boss doesn't get mad at you, so you don't get mad at yourself, that you're spending money that you have to work so hard to get back. That's what we want to avoid. So let's get into first one, which is getting and setting the right expectations. Look, going to your customer and saying, I want more leads, I just want the phone to ring, to an agency owner lets them kind of run with what they want to do. Instead, relax, sit back, and say to yourself, what's working now and what can potentially work next? For a lot of businesses, things like postcards, direct response marketing, that already may be working. But ask yourself, is the next step to get onto the website to do the SEO, because I want to hire this company to do it? Generally speaking, it's going to be pretty rare that you find a large company that does every single type of marketing source. Usually, they're little companies that do these specific sources for you. Consider yourself, what am I looking for? Set the expectation with the agency you're going to be working with and see if they're going to be a right solution, because I can guarantee you, if you frame your mindset towards that, you're going to get very clear on which agency it is that you should work with. And that brings me to number 2. What are you trying to accomplish? Look, you're not Michael Jordan. You can't accomplish almost everything. The man accomplished pretty much everything. In reality, you're going to have to accomplish one thing at a time, because you're on a limited budget, because you can only afford to do so much with losing a bunch of money. You're not a big brand like CNN, Apple, you're not these large companies, so you have a budget. And what are you trying to accomplish? So I'll give you an example. A lot of the clients that come to Develomark, and remember, this is not an advertisement, it will never be, but when a customer comes to our company, Develomark, who want a website and SEO, they know that the expectation they're setting for us is to get more organic presence in the search results. As a result, they're going to get more phone calls, but we are not the company that says we're going to do your billboards, we're going to do your radio, we're going to do your postcards, we're going to do your Facebook. That's not the company that we are. And so therefore, we would not be a good pick for that customer. So if they did hire us, or if we did gimmicky sales practice, get them to hire us, and we didn't get to their expectation because we don't know how, we just want the money, first sign that you're working with an inexperienced digital marketing agency. You should have clear goals, and you should have a company that can supplement to get you to those goals. Don't try to do everything at once. That never works. And the third one is the agency promising guarantees with their services. We get that question all the time. And generally, we are extremely happy to say, no, we don't offer any guarantees with our service. What we do guarantee is a service level guarantee, which basically says you will get a response, you will get your meetings, you will get phone calls, you will get documentation, you will get whatever it is that's on that service level agreement inside of an agreement for a contract. That's what you will get. We do not promises, although we probably could, #1 rankings in any type of Google keyword search result. Now, we know a lot about how to actually rank Google SEO keywords, but we just unfortunately can't guarantee it. If I could, I wouldn't be making this video right now. I would be a billionaire, because all I would do all day is rank really competitive keywords just because I know Google algorithm in and out. But in reality, it changes so much. I'm not a billionaire, and I have to work just as hard as you do to rank your site on Google search. But you can pay people like myself, agencies who are not offering guarantees, to put in the time for you, so you can relax and you can enjoy whatever it is that you do on your Saturdays and Sundays, instead of worrying about how your website and SEO is performing, how it's growing, and if the company that you're using is the right company. Oftentimes they are not, if they are offering any sort of ranking guarantee. And the fourth one, does the agency publicly show their clients? Now look, there's a lot to be said about client confidentiality. You may not want to work with several people, an agency that has several clients in a local marketplace. That's generally why agencies don't show their clients on their actual agency website, because they have a bunch of clients maybe, or no clients. Even worse, if you're even talking to somebody that doesn't even have clients, just completely get rid of them in the process unless a friend highly recommended them. But generally, agencies will not put their logos on the footer of their clients' websites because there's several of those competitors in the same area. That's something that's important to you. Many businesses that we work with, it's not important. Develomark, our agency, once again, not an advertisement, but just an example. We put our logo in as many different types of websites that we can at the bottom, and we're very transparent about who we work with, unless, of course, there is some sort of non-disclosure agreement about the services we're performing. Generally, though, we're working with businesses that just want the competitive edge and are proud of the services that they're using. And so with an agency that doesn't show their clients, my first thought of concern is, are they working with multiple clients in the same marketplace? My second thought of concern is, do they even have clients? Or are they just lying and boasting and putting up Photoshop pictures of websites that they've made? In reality, both are very strong possibilities. So make sure that you ask that question. Why do you not show your clients, or why do you show your clients? And you're going to get an answer that's very clear about that agency's mindset about working with customers, because I know how sensitive businesses like yourself are with working with an agency that has several different competitors in the same area. And number 5, how long has the agency been around? Many times you can work with very senior agencies, and that can be both a pro and a con. Now, the pros of that would be that agency is experienced, they've been around for some time, which means they can pay their bills, they're getting money from other customers, which is good because for you, that means their service works. And also, they have employees most likely. Now, the con is if you work with that agency, you're one of 10,000 customers. You don't mean a lot to them unless you're a bigger account that can afford to spend a lot of budget to get their attention. You're working with mid-level or low-level employees that may have just gotten the job that really don't understand what they're doing. Really, the sweet spot is working with agencies within their first, I would say, 10 to 20 years. And there's really not a lot of digital marketing agencies past 20 years. But what I would say is for a company that's within 10 years, generally the owner still has a very high stake in their clients' results. They have a really big care. They're not too big. You can get a lot of communication done. And you don't want a business, though, that's been less than 1 year, unless, of course, we follow the golden rule of asking for a recommendation, or if you've gotten a recommendation to that person and that's how you met them. Otherwise, if you're scrolling on Facebook and you're seeing that you saw a Facebook advertising video that says they can schedule you a bunch of appointments and you can't even look up how long they've been in business, completely cancel that person out of your account. They're just going to waste your time and your money. And number 6, is the agency's employees searchable on the web? This is such a critical one because of so many different reasons. If you simply go to LinkedIn, search the agency that you're researching, you should be able to see that there are other people on LinkedIn that have that person's company attached to their profile, and you'll be able to see all the employees at that company. Now, this is important because of a few different reasons. Number 1, it shows that that agency is not offshoring all of their work to a third world country or a different location and subcontracting the work that you're paying them to do because they promised you they had the expertise of doing. Now, some people argue that this is not important as long as their result gets done, but it is important when you start having bigger delay times, when you stop having responses because they don't know how to do the work themselves. Don't get caught inside of that position. Make sure that you're working with an agency that has in-house employees. Ultimately, they're going to care much more about your account, and you're going to reach your goal with a lot less hiccups and projects left undone, which we've seen a lot. We've seen people offshore a lot of this stuff, and the work doesn't even get done. It gets done halfway because the owner doesn't know how to pick up the work and get it done the right way. And the second thing is that person knows how to grow a culture and their services work, okay? If the company has W-2'd employees, for those of you that are not familiar, W-2 is when you provide a salary or an hourly pay, and that person works either part-time or full-time, and they don't generally have any jobs outside of that. They can. In today's economy, they probably do. But what I'm saying is that means that they can pay people consistently an hourly or a salaried wage to remain inside of their company. And for you, what that means for you is their services are working. You can't have employees that have been in a company for 10 or 5 to 10, whatever years it is, if their services aren't working. So if you want to find a reputable agency, it is critical that you check out and see how long their employees have been working at that company for. It's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to show you that other people are bought into that agency services and culture, because in the reality, if the agency is not a great agency and they're screwing over their customers, they're messing over their customers, they're not providing their results, they're lying, they're cheating, they're stealing, they're doing all of that stuff that we don't want, many times employees will not stick around, and you'll see a bunch of turnover and a bunch of short-term employees who simply leave the company because of the unethical things that agency is doing, which is pretty common. And the next one is the agency searchable, right? Especially if you're working with a digital marketing agency. Now, I can understand marketing and PR and advertising agencies that use like print, but if you're working with an online marketing agency, you better bet they should be showing up on those search results. If they are not, they are totally contradicting what they are selling to you. They are not following by their own Kool-Aid. They're not drinking their own Kool-Aid, and they're simply just selling snake oil. So make sure that if you're working with an agency, they're searchable, you can find them online, and you can research information about them regardless of it comes to reviews, videos, public content, websites that they've built, case studies, anything. If you search for that brand's name, they should show up. You should see some type of review. You should see something at least to help you inform your decision on choosing an agency. And number 8, what is the agency's pricing model? Now, why is this important, right? Every agency generally has a different pricing model. I'll give you 3 examples. One is called a retainer-based model. This means that agency charges a flat rate retainer fee regardless of how much work is done that month based on an agreed upon scope of work and proposal. Number 2 is called hourly, which an agency turns on the clock when they start performing services for you, and then they bill you for the time that they've spent that month, giving you a cap. And then the third one is called value-based pricing. This is the one that Develomark uses as an example. Remember, no advertising, but as an example, we use something called value-based pricing, which is pricing basically on a sliding fee scale depending on how big or how much work needs to be done for that business. One of my really good channels that I like to watch on YouTube, Chris Do, explains this very handsomely, where she says if you're redesigning a logo for Nike, it's going to have a lot more risk and impact than if you're redesigning a logo for a local flower shop that just opened up. And that's the truth. And that's why agencies that follow value-based pricing generally have to charge more for accounts with more risk. And so if you're a business, ask the agency, what's your pricing structure based off of? Is it retainer? Is it fee-based? Is it hourly? Is it value-based? And then ask them what their monthly charge is for that service. Generally speaking, they should be within $500 to $1,500 to $3,000 if you're doing any sort of digital marketing type of services. Email marketing, SEO marketing, Google Ads marketing, website marketing, anything that has to do with Facebook marketing. Those are the rates for those actual SEO agencies, digital marketing agencies that will charge that. Brian Dean put out a really good report about this that talked about the average monthly SEO retainer, and you can check that out down in the description if you want to see more about what other agencies are charging. Now, you should never choose an agency where you think the price is just unrealistic. And that's something that I see inside of my business model is as consultants, we like to charge on how much we feel we're worth. And the problem with that is the market doesn't see how much you're worth. So that's an ineffective way of billing a customer as an agency, and the customer feels that once they get that proposal and breaks down their services. Understand how your agency charges for their services and compare it with 3 other agencies before making a decision so you can make sure that you're getting market value rather than consultant egotism. And number 9, are that agency's customers happy? Now, there's a lot of ways that you can do this research. My favorite way is reference checks. Have the agency send you 2 or 3 references of customers that are currently working with them that would be happy to answer questions for you. Now, you can add a bonus to this if you can get the references to be the same business model that you are. So here's what this looks like. Hey, Mr. Agency or Miss Agency, your services look great. Your offer looks great. I just have to do my due diligence because this loud screaming guy on the video, Ruan Marinho, told me that I needed to basically ask your customers how they're doing. What you're looking for here is, 1, that agency is going to be open enough to say, yes, you can ask my customers. That's the first thing you're looking for. There, you've already beat 50% of other agencies inside of the marketplace. Most of them will have to either say, you need to sign this, you need to do that. If there's any other step than that, quickly eliminate that person out of your list. And the second thing is you get to ask those customers really 3 initial core things. Number 1, are you happy with the service and why? Get information from that reference as to why they're happy with the service and why. Number 2, how is your lead flow, or how close are you to getting to your goal if you've not already gotten to your goal based on those services that you're using with agency? And this is going to give you a really good realistic way of looking at how much that agency actually performs. Besides the world that they're selling you, you've got to make sure that you're not going to buy a peanut, right? You got to make sure you're going to get what they're saying they're going to get you. And number 3, what are they charging you? And so this is one where it's funny because whenever somebody calls our clients at Develomark as references, we track all of our clients' websites' phone calls. And so we'll actually hear a lot of our potential clients calling our existing clients. And so the existing clients will always give them all of the information. And you should ask what they're charging because you want to make sure that the charge is realistic. Now remember, if you're value-based pricing, it's going to vary. If you call a larger company, likely that company's paying more than a small business that's been in business within 5 years or so. And so ask for references. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Bonus perk would be choosing an agency that blatantly tells you about their references and uses their references inside of the sales process. And number 10, how is the agency going to accomplish your goals? Get specific. I want this. How are you going to get there? That open-ended question should have that agency lay out their plan, their proposed action and scope of work on how they're going to get you to that goal based on your goal. And if it's to rank for higher keywords, that agency may tell you they're going to start with keyword research. They're going to start by using Google Ads to get good ideas as to what keywords you should rank for. They're going to start by maybe saying they're going to build out a website framework that's going to increase conversions. They're going to use backlinks to rank higher. You need to get that scope of work from that customer and compare it with 3 other agencies that you're considering choosing for your digital marketing services. And this is awesome because this can start to tell you which one of the 3 is either A, just really crazy, or B, which one sounds like it's the most realistic, which one sounds like it's the most usable and you're going to get the most result from it. I love doing this when I shop for any type of home improvement. Recently, since we've been a little more remote, I've been getting carpet cleaning, I've been getting air duct cleaning, I've been getting a lot of things that will remove allergens to my house because I have bad allergies. And to dust mites, unfortunately, because you can't even see them. They're like so small. So annoying. But I do have those allergies. And so what I do is I call different companies, I get what they're going to do for me, the price, make the comparison, and then ultimately pick the person that I like the most personality-wise if the price and the scope of work is as effective. So, and that goes into see your options of what other people are going to tell you to get to your goal. It's going to give you more clarity as to which one you think is more reasonable, and it's going to get you to that goal. And number 11, now that they know your goal and here's the scope of work, how are they going to track the progress of getting you towards that goal? If you tell an agency that you want to rank for a keyword phrase, are they going to provide you with month-over-month reporting on where you stand for those keywords so hopefully you can see a gradual increase inside of your search results? That's a way that I would answer a customer asking me, whatever type of service that you're looking for marketing, ask that agency, now that I know how you're going to do this, how are you going to track progress and report that to me so I know that my marketing dollars are being spent efficiently? And number 12, do you even need an agency? This is something that obviously me having special interest. If you do decide to contact me after this video, I'm going to say it. If you don't have your pictures of your business, if you don't have a logo, if you don't have anything that you can market or advertise, if you're not comfortable with your initial foundational marketing materials, don't hire an agency. Work on your foundations first, and then once you're ready to go to market, then hire an agency, and you're going to see a lot more results with that agency because they have the tools and resources that they need to get the job done. That's the great thing about Develomark. We build those things. I'm just kidding. I told you I wasn't going to advertise inside of this video. I just had to do that. So anyways, don't use an agency unless you have foundational steps already created. And last but not least, number 12 or 13, I don't remember, what do your connections say about the 3 potential agencies or just the potential agency that you're working with, right? Send them the agency's website, send them some of the material that they did, and get a solid understanding of what they think, right? They're gonna look at it from a different perspective than you are. They're gonna say, well, here's what I like and here's what I don't like. And you're gonna get that from maybe some 2 or 3 or even 1 agency that you're planning on working with. Getting a professional colleague who you trust and would never lie to you is going to give you a good determination if you are choosing that right agency. Now, guys, it was a long video and I told you it was gonna be information packed, and now you know more about choosing the right agency than 90% of the companies out there. And as long as you follow these steps, you're gonna make the right decision, you're gonna make the right choice, you're gonna please your boss, you're gonna please yourself, you're gonna get to the goals that you wanna get to, because in reality, we're not all scams. And there's a lot that don't work, but that's because, once again, follow the 13 steps and you'll quickly find an agency that works for you. If you have any questions about this video, you can email me at any time at ruan@develomark.com, or you can simply go to my website and fill out the contact form. I'd love to answer any questions that you may have. And if you like this video, make sure that you hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.